Thank you for coming. You need to see this.
Don't do this to me.
So sit back, get some corn, and let's have this movie time.
Hey.
Oh, hi there. My name is Prostetnic Vogon Jeffs, and I am Canadian.
Move this man!
I'm not a lumberjack or a fur trader, unless we're counting all the times I've pimped out your mother, and I don't live in an igloo or eat blubber or own a dog sled. I have a prime minister, not a president, a really terrible prime minister. I speak English and French. Poorly. Pamplemousse, bibliothèque, je suis mal à la tête.
Parlez-vous le français?
No.
And I pronounce it a boot, not a boot. Oh no. I do say a boot. I used to be able to proudly sew my country's flag on my backpack. I believe that the word beaver is still the funniest name for a vagina. A toque is a hat. A Chesterfield is a couch. And it is pronounced Z. The Americans were right about that one. Not Z, Z. Canada is the second largest landmass, the first nation of hockey, and the best place on earth to make a movie or TV show that will get seen by absolutely nobody.
It's like we're in some awful 80s slasher horror movie in the corn.
Which means what exactly?
It means I'm next.
Okay, stop it.
Some folks might think that because I'm Canadian, I could have a positive bias towards Canadian media. That maybe Canadian productions would get a few bonus points because of national pride. Wrong!
I'll tell you what the facts are, mister.
Couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, it's the opposite. I think most Canuck entertainment is pure dog shit. We're a country so deprived of our own quality content that we've let our national networks produce nearly 20 seasons of Murdoch mysteries. The worst part being that people seem to genuinely like it. It is an objectively garbage show. But us hosers eat it up. We push Anne of Green Gables like South American countries push fentanyl. One of our most successful directors is obsessed with body horror. The other one is obsessed with blue aliens. And our greatest media export is Strange Brew, a nonsensical B-movie from over 40 years ago.
That's it. We're leaving, kids. Come on. Okay.
With all of that being said, it's time to discuss the subject of this video, the 2025 slasher flick, Clown in a Cornfield.
What good thing has ever happened in a cornfield?
Now, some folks might not have known this, but Clown in a Cornfield is a Canadian movie. Filmed in Canada with a predominantly Canadian cast, made using Canadian production tax credits, and drenched in the unmistakable odor of "this could have been better." Directed by Eli Craig of Tucker and Dale fame.
That was a cool movie.
Who teamed up with Carter Blanchard, a dude whose only other notable accomplishment in the film industry is an uncredited writing role on Independence Day Resurgence, to deliver an aggressively mediocre movie about killer clowns. Starring Will Sasso, Kevin Durand, and a bunch of Canadians who you've probably never heard of, Clown in a Cornfield is simultaneously better and worse than you could ever imagine.
There's no time to explain.
Alright, it's 1991, and a group of teens are partying it up next to a cornfield in Kettle Springs, Missouri, aka Winnipeg, Manitoba. Two of those teens head out into said cornfield to get their freak on, but are slaughtered by a clown instead. A clown in a cornfield. Roll credits! Fast forward to present-day Kettle Springs. Quinn Maybrook and her father, Glenn, arrive in town after a long trek from Philadelphia. While settling into their new home, Quinn notices that they live next to a burnt corn syrup factory. The next morning, she gets ready for school while listening to Mother Mother and thinking about her dead mother. That's a little on the nose. Quinn reminds her dad to get the internet hooked up.
Sorry about breakfast. I'll get groceries after work.
Do you think Wi-Fi might be more important?
Yes, I hear you.
Ugh, kids these days. Anyway, on her way out, she is met by Rust, a local teen who offers to walk her to school. Now, and I suppose it's also worth mentioning that Glenn is the new town doctor, and he hasn't been taking the recent death of his wife very well. Quinn shows up late for her first class, and her teacher, the target of his students' ridicule, throws her head first into a spiteful pop quiz.
That's not fair to the new girl.
Well, that's the price of being late.
Oh, they put the wrong room number on my schedule.
When she tries to explain herself, Mr. Verne goes on a detention spree.
You know what? Detention for you.
What?
conveniently punishing only the main cast of the movie. Quinn meets Janet, Matt, Ronnie, Tucker, and Cole, who happens to be the son of Kettle Springs' mayor, Arthur Hill. Cole explains an upcoming local celebration, Founders Day.
Yeah, Founders Day, right? I keep seeing that. What is that?
That is a stupid holiday my family invented to celebrate corn.
And how his family are the heirs of the Bay Pen corn syrup empire, or something like that. Quinn also learns that her 5 new friends produce YouTube videos featuring Friendo, the Bay Pen corn syrup clown mascot. Later, Glenn and Quinn meet the town sheriff and learn that the town has been struggling ever since the corn syrup factory burned down. Quinn ducks out on her father and the sheriff and hooks up with her new friends. They head out to the Bay Pen factory to get drunk and drop exposition like the film depends on it.
The sheriff was saying that the factory burnt down recently?
Yeah. We filmed one of our videos in there. We didn't actually start the fire.
Who did?
Faulty wiring, official conclusion.
Nobody believes that.
Including us.
Well, what, do you think someone set you up?
Quinn is initiated into the group after she's unwittingly included in a scary prank video, and then she and Cole bond over the shockingly coincidental fact that they both lost a family member in the past year.
My mom died of an overdose over the summer.
My younger sister died last summer, too.
Cole drives Quinn home and she gets in trouble. Glenn is understandably pissed that his daughter went out drinking with a bunch of people she barely knows. They get into an argument.
That's not fair. I asked you and you said that you'd be willing to go if it's what I needed.
No, it never mattered what I wanted because you ran away. And I don't want to run anymore. I just want to be okay.
While sulking in her bedroom, Quinn notices a second clown in the prank video her new friends made. She sends a screenshot to the group and then Tucker finds a Bay Pen Jack in the box and gets killed by a clown. Not technically the first death of the movie for all of you trope and cliche counters. Just saying. Hey you! Yeah, you. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe and drop a like. Maybe leave a comment for the algorithm. And if you're feeling generous, become a channel member and join the Maniac Army, because the world needs more maniacs. At the town's Centennial Founders Day Festival, a group of content creators decide to make another video. Matt joins the parade riding a unicycle and juggling prop bombs. He's confronted by a deputy and accidentally drops one of the bombs on the main float, starting a fire in the process, which leads to the destruction of the float and the arrest of Cole, Janet, Ronnie, and Quinn. They're locked in a prison cell with a crazy old dude who warns them to
never with Friendo.
And then a short while later, the sheriff just lets them go. Quinn gets grounded by her dad, who was going to give her a new car as a gift, but decides against it for the time being.
I don't even know how to drive stick.
Yeah, I know you don't.
Oh, what an ungrateful little turd. He was gonna teach you how to drive manual as a bonding experience, Quinn. Meanwhile, Matt is pumping iron in his garage when a Bay Pen Jack in the box appears out of nowhere. We're gonna talk about these things a bit later. I have complaints. Anyway, he ignores its sudden appearance and goes back to his workout, only to be decapitated by Friendo moments later. Despite being grounded, Quinn decides to sneak out with Cole to attend the traditional Founders Day barn rave. On the way there, Cole gives Quinn a Bay Pen Jack in the box for the sole purpose of trying to trick the audience into thinking he's got something to do with the clown murders. God damn, I hate this movie. Initial frustration and concern for the whereabouts of Matt and Tucker turns into wariness.
They're planning something again, aren't they?
I was just thinking the exact same thing.
Be on guard, Pete.
And then Cole and Quinn get to dancing and making out and, oh, what's this? Cole isn't super into it. Quinn storms off and gets brought up to speed by Janet.
Cole rejects everybody.
You could have told me that, Janet.
Which leads to a promising Cornfield catfight until some rando comes roaming in and collapses with an arrow in her back. Matt's head gets lobbed in as well, but the ladies think it's all part of the prank.
Ronnie, think fast. You bitch!
That is until Quinn realizes that the girl doesn't have a pulse.
She's dead.
Friendo emerges from the cornfield and immediately starts killing the partygoers. Quinn, Janet, and Ronnie are abandoned outside of the barn. They run for their lives and stumble across Rust carrying a shotgun.
Duck!
Rust shoots Friendo and everyone breathes a sigh of relief until a bunch of other Friendos emerge from the cornfield.
That's a lot of friendos!
Rust shoots the hand off of one of the clowns. Then Cole finally shows up to assist his friends. Back at the Maybrook residence, Glenn realizes his daughter has skipped out on her detention and heads into town to find her.
teenagers.
And back at the barn party, the teens have sheltered themselves inside of a shed. Rust uses 2 of his last 3 shotgun shells impetuously, sparking an argument with Cole.
Oh my god, can you stop being so fucking stupid? No, you know what? You're stupid. Because you threw away everything we had for what? We never had anything. Oh, bullshit!
One might go so far as to call it a lover's quarrel.
Oh.
But why can't you just admit who you are for once in your fucking life? Because I don't fucking know!
And Quinn discovers a sewer grate, which allows the group to escape the attacking clowns. In an effort to distract the flock of friendos, Rust and Cole concoct a makeshift bomb on wheels, and Rust stays behind to make sure it works. It does, and the implication here is that Rust didn't make it out alive. But we all know he did. We all know he's gonna Deus Ex Machina his way back into the plot. Who is falling for this nonsense? Oh, whatever. While all of this is going down, Glenn drives by his clinic and notices that someone has broken in. It's the clowns, obviously. The guy who got his hand shot off needs medical attention, so Glenn is forced to take care of him.
Save him, or your daughter dies.
Alright, back to the teens who have made their way through the cornfield to a nearby road. Luckily, at that exact moment, they spot a car. But oh no! It's the sheriff's police cruiser. He refuses to listen to the teens and decides to arrest Cole for reasons.
Okay, y'all are making one of your little goofy internet videos? Is that what's happening?
So back into the cornfield with the girls. They're off to take refuge at a nearby farmhouse.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
One of the friendos, the one with a chainsaw, finds the 3 young ladies roaming through the cornfield. He chases them until Ronnie, apparently unable to hear the sound of an idling chainsaw and apparently unable to run in a straight line away from danger, gets violently impaled. Quinn and Janet make their way to the Tillersons' house, where they stumble upon another friendo who seems to be dead. They sheepishly attempt to investigate, but get distracted by a ringing phone. Fucking typical. Heading upstairs, Janet and Quinn give us the funniest scene of the entire movie.
Call 911! Where's the button, Jen? What the fuck kind of phone is this?
Seriously, why isn't the rest of the movie packed with moments like this? The 2 teens start scanning the room and notice a wall full of friendo-related photos and news clippings. And then Janet spots a Bay Pen Jack-in-the-Box magically winding itself for a perfectly timed friendo reveal. They bolt for the door, but Janet is pitchforked by the not-so-dead friendo they found earlier. Quinn fights back, removing the pitchfork from Janet to impale her attacker before grabbing a random set of keys for a truck that happens to have a manual transmission. Ooh, bad luck, Quinn.
When your dad wants to teach you to drive stick, you say yes!
Obviously, having not learned how to drive stick, Quinn is unable to escape as a group of friendos surround and capture her. Back at the clinic, Glenn tricks his clown captor and sticks him with his own knife. He then uses their walkie-talkie and overhears some other friendos planning to take Quinn to the Bay Pen factory. So off he goes to save his daughter. Quinn wakes up inside the factory, surrounded by friendos. They remove their masks and reveal themselves. It's the sheriff, and the shopkeeper, and the waitress, and Mr. Vern. And the icing on the clown cake? They're being led by the mayor.
Your Cole's dead.
I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you. Now, of course I'm not shocked. This isn't the least bit surprising. And neither is the final act exposition dump that we get. Mayor Hill explains how every now and then the adults of Kettle Springs have had to step in and thin out the herd of terrible teens.
Only when necessary, of course.
And because of the death of his daughter, Mayor Hill has disowned his own son.
Oh, Cole's no son of mine. I disowned him.
He's going to kill him and Quinn and make the whole thing look like the murderous rampage of a disturbed teenager. That's when Glenn drives his car through a brick wall and nearly kills Cole. Shopkeeper Otis and waitress Trudy are taken out in the chaos, and Quinn runs off with the sheriff in hot pursuit. So she jams an electric prod into his mouth and fries his face off before telling him off in the cringiest possible way.
I'm not your fucking sweetheart.
And Cole figures out that his dad was responsible for the Bay Pen factory fire.
You started the fire, didn't you? The f***ing insurance money.
I think it's worth mentioning that none of this was established at any point in the movie. Not even hinted at. Lazy writing. But yeah, it was all an insurance fraud scheme. Mayor Hill escapes. Rust shows up to save his lover from choking to death. Glenn teaches his daughter how to drive stick in less than 30 seconds.
There you go, you're doing it.
Yeah, nice job, Glenn.
Guys, we got a problem.
And she runs over Mr. Verne. A year later, Glenn is running for mayor and Quinn is preparing to leave for college. Cole and Rust show up to give her a parting gift.
It's a 16-inch collapsible self-defense baton.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And on her way out of town, Quinn finds a Bay Pen Jack-in-the-Box in her back seat. She throws it out of the window and it pops open right before the credits roll. Fucking bullshit.
Don't worry, I'll make it quick.
I hate this movie. I hate how YA it is. Sure, I get it. It's based on a YA novel of the same name.
I've heard enough.
But this is where my first issue lies. If it's for the young adult demographic, why is it rated R? The audience that's being targeted here are tweens and teens, right? So we're just gonna age gate them with the content?
They've been saving their allowance for weeks to see this movie. What am I supposed to tell them? Just what the heck am I supposed to tell them?
Either the violence and language should have been dialed back to get a PG-13 rating, or this should have been made for an entirely different demographic. Either could have worked, but as it stands, it's a movie that doesn't understand for whom it was made. From a technical standpoint, it's fine. It's competently shot, the acting isn't great, but it's far from awful. It's what you would expect out of a YA flick. Serviceable is probably the best way to describe it. But the whole thing is just so derivative and predictable. The plot feels way too familiar, and the themes of generational divides and technological dependence have been covered to a greater extent in much better movies. This movie isn't saying anything new, nor is it saying any of it in a refreshing or original way.
What is happening? Why is everyone so fucking mean?
In terms of pacing and length, no complaints. It doesn't overstay its welcome and it manages to move at a decent rate. But the characters are laughably one-dimensional and character development is either non-existent or ham-fisted. Kevin Durand is painfully underutilized. Will Sasso is forced to suppress everything that makes him likable. And can we talk about the Bay Pen Jack-in-the-Boxes? What the f***? This is one of my biggest pet peeves with horror movies. If we're dealing with the supernatural or something otherworldly, then having these kinds of elements in your movie is fine. But if the antagonist or antagonists of your story are purely reality-based, as they are in this movie, then incorporating supernatural elements is just cheap bullshit used to deceive the viewer. The Bay Pen Jack-in-the-Boxes are a perfect example of this. They appear out of nowhere and function inconsistently. Tucker finds his in a closet that no one could have predicted he would look in. Matt's appears right next to him like magic, and Matt doesn't wind his all the way, yet it still pops. Janet and Quinn find one in the Tillersons' house. That one just magically works on its own and pops at just the right time. It's a gimmick that doesn't work or stand up to even the slightest scrutiny. You're telling me that every friendo is walking around with one of these, ready to tease their impending attack? Give me a break! And let's not even get into the clown shoes inconsistencies or the fact that none of the clowns do anything remotely clown-like.
Nobody stores cotton candy like this.
It's completely superficial and poorly executed style over substance bullshit.
Yeah, your clown's kind of blowing it, bro.
Oh, he was supposed to be good.
Oh, and what happened to Mayor Hill? He just escapes and no one says word one about it? No one is like, hey, what happened to Mayor Hill? What happened to Cole's psychotic father? We just let him take off to get ready for the sequel? I can't even. The pure laziness of this movie. Cathartic blue balls. Unbelievable.
Let me ask you a question.
Were you expecting a movie called Clown in a Cornfield to be good? Here's the thing, if you went into this movie knowing absolutely nothing and having your expectations set incredibly low, well, it's not terrible. It's a perfectly serviceable slasher that would fit right in with the generic straight-to-video horror flicks of the 80s and 90s.
That's bullshit. This is a Canadian trick.
It's not the worst thing you could watch, but it certainly isn't the best thing. For me, my expectations going into this were actually quite a bit higher.
Ha! Gay!
Eli Craig wrote and directed one of the best horror comedies of all time with Tucker and Dale vs. Evil.
That's a fact.
That is a fact.
He shattered the Nepo Baby mold with his directorial debut. Sure, his sophomore outing with Little Evil wasn't exactly confidence-inspiring.
Thank you very much, Leonard Maltin. Your review will be taken into very serious consideration.
But I really thought he might be more than a one-trick pony. I mean, Tucker and Dale wasn't a fluke, was it?
I'm sorry, what?
Spoilers! It was. Until he proves otherwise, it's undeniable that Eli Craig fluked his way into horror history. I knew Alan Tudyk and Tyler Labine were doing the heavy lifting, I just didn't realize how much they were carrying until now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Listen, I'm sure some folks will like this movie. It's not so reprehensible that it deserves to be dismissed entirely. It's mid.
Like a good way, though, right?
It's a movie you'll watch and then forget almost instantly. It's a generic watch that's good for a couple laughs. That's about it. Personally, that's why I hate it so much. Give me the worst of the worst, or give me the best of the best. Those are the movies I enjoy watching. But keep this kind of stuff as far away as possible. Because Clown in a Cornfield is unapologetically mediocre.
These pipes are clean!